Welcome to another exciting, interesting, hot episode of Street Gist with Ruth Vader. My name is Ruth and I'm reporting from Platform Media International. So as usual, we're on the street of Lagos asking Nigerians trending topics on what's going on in the country. So today's topic, we'll be talking about the redesign of the new Naira notes and then scarcity of the same Naira notes. Okay, so let us know what you think about this topic. Comment, follow, like, share, follow us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Okay, my name is Kelvin.
Kelvin, okay. Yeah, remember Mr. Kelvin. Okay, so what's your say? What's your take on this cashless or scarcity of cash issue?
Well, like our people used to say, there is no fire without smoke. Or smoke without fire. There's no smoke without fire. So before we talk about the scarcity of cash, we should understand why we have scarcity of cash. And then when we understand that, we will also understand that we are actually in the worlds apart. Worlds that you have the rich and the poor. And in a developed country, we don't say there are no poor people, but a developed country consists of the poor, the average, and the rich. So a country that doesn't have these three categories of stages is not actually a developed country. Nigeria is not a country that have the poor, the average, and the rich. Nigeria have the poor and the rich. And the bridge between the poor and the rich is the average. So in the point that you don't have the average, it means the poor cannot access the rich, and the rich will not come down to the poor. So this is the situation we find ourselves. Now, there is no doubt that there is cash in Nigeria. The new currency is on ground. But what the cause of what we are fighting for is really important. Is what Nigerians should look into. First, let me start with the governors that went to the president. Now, you understand that politicians can only fight for what benefits them. And when this happened, they want to drag the poor masses into their fights and make it look as if it is their fight. Now, before we get to that, what is the relationship between a woman that doesn't have lights, doesn't have generator, and doesn't have a car, doesn't have any means of using fuel, and then you find that woman protesting on the road about fuel scarcity? What is her concern? What is the concern of that poor man that doesn't have anything to use fuel to do? When the fuel comes up now, the rich will now go take their car to the filling station, and then the poor person will go back to the market and sell the little okra and whatever. So the rich always want to drag the poor into their fight, making it look as if they are fighting for you, but they are not fighting for you. So what I want Nigerians to understand today is that the issue of scarcity of cash is not our fight. They are using that word to make it look as if it affects us more. The governors that went to the president, they never told the president that they have scarcity of cash. They did not tell the president, give us more cash. There is no money in the POS. There is no money in the bank. That is not what they told the president. They told the president to give them extension to swap their cash. So you see, a poor man on the street did not say, give us extension. He's asking for cash. So we see we are fighting different cause entirely. Because you know why? Now let me make this clear. Every bank is operated by using the license of a particular state. That is why you can have public holiday in Lagos and those banks are still opening in other states. Why? Because the policy that is affecting them here doesn't affect them in another state. Now, if we use that as an example, you understand that the bank is at the mercy of the governor of the state. I have seen videos where task force had to go into the bank, and then the bankers, they had to bring the old money out, and then they took the new currency and put it inside the safe and cover it with the old money. So that when you enter it, they will tell you the money is not here. So there were a series of revelations that they hide that money. Now, why did they hide the money? They hide it so that they can give it to politicians. So the common man now can suffer while the politicians are enjoying. Now, the question is, a common man on the street that is looking for this cash to get from maybe the POS or local vendor cannot have it. But people are spreading this cash on occasions in bundles. Where did they get it from? That's number one. I've also seen a video of insurgents spreading those cash, and they are saying that they have a lot of new cash to buy even more weapons. I've seen videos like that on screen on the internet. And now the question is, where did they have this cash and then a common man doesn't have it? So we are not fighting the same cost at all. They are fighting for extension because the money they have stolen is too big for them to change it at the same time. So they want extension so they can change it small. But an average or a common Nigerian doesn't have that cash. So the little he's having, they are taking it from him and giving it to the poor, to the rich. And so it's painful. That is why you see the poor is beginning to fight back. We give politicians the power and they use it to oppress us. So I think it is the right time for Nigerians to stand up and get their power back, so that anybody that wants to come and collect this power will now have to tell us what the person will do with this power if it's given to the person. We are tired of oppressors. What we have in Nigeria is the rich oppressing the poor. That is what we have in Nigeria. There is cash. There is cash. Don't allow anybody deceive you. The new Naira note is there, but it's in the hands of the few. That is why you can't have it. You can't have it. Now, number two, coming to the issue of Emefiele. Like I said, everybody is fighting for themselves. Emefiele is not fighting for the common man. Putting a stop to this swap of Naira on the 10th is not because he's fighting for a common man. He's using that as because he's the governor of the central bank to fight his enemies back. Those that ripped him of 100 million he bought nomination form for, and they couldn't give him in the primaries. He lost out. He bought a lot of buses and branded it. Emefiele is a CBN governor. Where did he have money to buy form for 100 million cars to brand for his election? So when the thing did not favor him, Emefiele wants to fight them back because he knows how much these politicians have in their house. So you see, this thing is not the common man's fight. It is a fight between the politicians, and they want to rope us in. And for me, I think this is a distraction. And I want to sound it to Nigerians. Nobody should be distracted. Get your PVC and make sure you vote Peter Obi. At this point, we are not trying to think of who are we going to vote. We already know who we want to vote. Get your PVC and leave all this distraction. Why is the APC government crying over the swap of money, the deadline? Why is the PDP government crying over the deadline? It's because they know that Emefiele is fighting them back. Emefiele couldn't get the presidential ticket, so now he's using his office to make sure they too will not use that money. And besides, I'm sure Emefiele has changed all the money he has before he extended it to the masses. So what I'm advising the masses is, understand which one is your fight. The fight for the noun for the masses is the PVC fight. It's not whether they swap the currency or they change it or they redesign it. It is a distraction. So we should do the PVC fight. You see where this issue of currency coming out, and then a lot of people, it's during the time that people are actually putting their effort to collect their PVC. That is when they brought this issue of money scarcity. So people are now leaving what they're supposed to fight for the now and now start pursuing money. You understand?
Yeah.
So that is the problem we have. So for me, Nigerians should make sure that they leave all these distractions. It is a fight between the politicians. They know what they are doing. After the extension, now the question I want to ask the common Nigeria out there is, if they extend this money swap, the deadline, how much do you have to swap? Do you understand?
Yeah.
An average Nigerian doesn't need a day to swap his money. He doesn't need a day because the money is not much.
Yeah.
It's not much. So those that are crying for the extension, they have ulterior motive. They have ulterior motives. That is why they are crying for extension. So my advice for Nigerians right now is they should understand their fight. This is the PVC fight. It's time to take back power.
Yes.
It's time to take back what belongs to us. So everybody should go get their PVC and go vote Peter Obi. If we have the head right, every other part of the body will be right. Like Peter Obi will always say, if I don't add money, then there is no need for commissioner to add money. You won't add money. So if the head is right, every part of the body will be right. So I advise Nigerians to leave this thing they are seeing and focus on their PVC, to use it and change the power, the country, and take their country back. This is more than what we see. Distractions everywhere. It doesn't take poor man to change money. It doesn't take. So the money stuff is for the rich. And so let them do their fight. Let them do their solve their problem. It's for their own. You understand? And let the banks, I advise the bank to open up and allow citizens to have access to their cash, and not taking the order of a particular governor of the state that will tell them, look, I don't want you to release any cash because my people want to use it for something. No. They should allow the common man to have access to his cash. That is my advice. And if I know that all these things will be over, because very soon we are going to put the right man on the right seat, and all this stuff will be over. And I'm sure there will be no hiding place for all these, according to Tinubu's daughter, bastard leaders in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you. Okay, so that will be all for today. Let us know what you think. We've got a lot of raging Nigerians towards this scarcity of cash. We believe that it is for the better of the country, but for now, it's not looking towards that direction. We're not seeing it yet. Let us know what you think anyway. Comment, follow, like, share. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click that bell button to get notified whenever we make fresh posts. Okay, my name is Ruth and I'm reporting from Platform Media, and see you soon. Bye.